HOA Karen had officially crossed the line this time. Her obsession with control had become so extreme that she called the cops to grab my daughter, again, believing somehow that she had jurisdiction over who could visit my ranch. What she didn't know was that I'm the county sheriff, and by the end of the day, she'd be the one surrounded by flashing lights, facing a reality check she'd never forget. It all began on a quiet Saturday morning. My daughter, Emily, was riding her horse along the outer pasture, just enjoying the crisp air and the golden light over the hills. Meanwhile, Karen stood at the edge of the HOA property line, clutching her phone like it was a weapon. She shouted across the fence, "That's unsafe. She's a minor. I'm calling the authorities." Emily, unbothered, gave her horse a gentle pat and said, "Ma'am, I'm 22. But logic never stopped Karen before. Within minutes, she had dialed 911, demanding an immediate child welfare response. I got the dispatch notification myself. My name lit up on the system as the responding officer. I smiled, sipped my coffee, and said aloud, "Well, this should be interesting." When I arrived, Karen was pacing wildly near my gate, waving her HOA badge at the incoming patrol car like she was leading a SWAT raid. The deputy who arrived, one of my subordinates, looked at me, looked at her, and tried hard not to laugh. "Ma'am," he said politely, "that's the sheriff you're calling the cops on." Karen froze mid-sentence. The realization hit her like a lightning bolt. Her mouth opened, closed, then opened again. But you can't be. You're the one breaking the rules," she stammered. I stepped forward, badge glinting in the sun. "Actually, Karen, I make the rules around here. And right now, you're standing on the wrong side of them." Her eyes darted around nervously as the deputy began taking notes for a formal report. I explained calmly that filing a false report, trespassing, and harassment could all result in real legal consequences. Karen sputtered, insisting it was a community safety issue. But I reminded her that she had no authority over county law or my family. The deputy, barely suppressing a grin, asked, "Do you want to file this under public disturbance or wasting police resources?" "Sheriff?" I couldn't resist smiling. "Let's go with both." Karen's face went from red to pale in seconds. She tried to backpedal, mumbling something about a misunderstanding. But the damage was done. She was issued a formal citation and given a clear warning to stay off my property and stop interfering with my family, or face arrest. When she finally retreated, muttering to herself about unfair treatment, I looked out over my ranch and couldn't help but laugh. The cows were grazing lazily, the horses trotted peacefully, and the sun was dipping low, painting the sky with orange and gold. Peace had returned, at least until Karen's next disaster. That night, my daughter and I sat on the porch, watching the stars. She chuckled and said, "Dad, she really doesn't learn, does she?" I smiled, sipping my coffee. "Nope, but every time she tries, the lesson just gets louder." The next morning, word spread through the county that HOA Karen had tried to have the sheriff arrested on his own land. The story became local legend. Neighbors laughed, the HOA board groaned, and Karen quietly avoided eye contact for weeks. In the end, justice was served not through anger, but through the quiet, confident reminder that some lines you just don't cross, especially when the man on the other side of that line wears the badge.